Hey everyone, Orange here. Welcome to Path to Decency episode 39. The first topic that I am going to discuss is free rune removal. I know I did talk about this in my last episode, but over the last week I had some people ask me some really great questions about free rune removal and about runes in general. So in this episode I am going to go over in bullet points. I'm going to give you guys the information straight up about how I pick which monsters to rune. I know I've been talking about this since the beginning of time, or since I started playing Summoner's War and doing my YouTube channel, but I'm going to go over it real quickly just to kind of keep you guys updated, or not updated, but remind you guys how I do that. And the most important question that I got last week that I know a lot of people struggle with is, when you're farming dungeons, how do you determine which runes to keep or sell? Do you keep them and upgrade them, then sell them? I know that topic is very confusing for a lot of people and people struggle with it, so I'm going to go over that too. First, let's go over how I've been doing free rune removal this whole time. It applies to now, it'll probably apply forever as long as I'm playing Summoner's War, and I'll go over that in 3 short bullet points. These bullet points are about how do I pick which monsters get my best runes. The first thing that I think about is, how good is the monster? A great example is Veramos. He's a very, very OP monster, and for anyone that's playing Summoner's War that's going through progression, everyone has to go through progression, and until they can kind of mess around with endgame units, but for the most part, you're going to be using Veramos for a long time. If you give him really good runes, he will absolutely carry you in every aspect of the game. It's kind of like a bang for your buck sort of thing. If you give Veramos very good runes, he will excel in those places and make those places easy. You will be using Veramos in Giants, GB10, DB8, TOA normal, all the way through TOA normal, DB10 when you get there, all the way through TOA hard. Is he on this team? He's not on this team, but I did use him pretty much all the way through TOA hard. He's one of my staple monsters. If you have something like Verad would probably be better, so you have to assess your situation. In my situation, I didn't have a replacement for that, and Vera will be very good for a long time. Shannon is another example that I really liked. She carried me for a very long time. GB10, DB8, TOA normal every single month. I was using her pretty much all the way up to 100, and then I had to switch her out for 100, and now she's kind of fallen off, so my runes shift at that point. Vero, though, I'm still using, still going strong with him after a year and a month played. He's going to be a great bang for your buck monster. If you give him the best runes, he will excel in all of those places. I forgot to mention, I still use him heavily in PvP. In Conqueror 1, there are a lot of bruiser defenses that you will see that you can beat as long as you keep giving Veramos great runes. Veramos will move first, get his stomps off. People aren't really going to have will runes, and even if they do, if you're using a bruiser fight style, bruiser teams take a while to fight. Will runes are bad if the fight goes on for an extended period of time, because will runes only activate on the first turn. So that's why I give Veramos my best runes, and I still do that. So once again, the first point is, how good is the monster? This kind of ties into the second point, how much I use it. I did talk about Shannon. I don't use her very much anymore, so her runes shifted over to Arya, because I use Arya a ton. And Veramos, same thing. I use him a lot, so I'm going to give him my best runes. Third point, how much that monster scales off of good runes. Some monsters scale better off good runes. This kind of, to kind of summarize this, well, I did kind of summarize it, but what I'm trying to say is, for example, a monster like Mav. Let's take Mav. Mav doesn't need very good runes to work. If you can slowly increase his runes over time, he will work better, but to make him pretty good, it's kind of like a scale. I don't know which math scale it would be. Bad runes will take Mav very, very high. Like, it's kind of like exponential, I guess. So if you have bad runes on Mav, he will be up here. And then when you start putting good runes on Mav, how good he is won't go up as high. It'll kind of like go like this, and then if you put amazing runes on him, he'll still be like this, because Mav is Mav, you know what I'm saying? So great runes will kind of take Mav like this, bad runes will take him all the way up here. Because Mav functions well off of slow, violent runes, he doesn't need speed to function. He just needs all of those violent runes that I've been keeping that don't have speed on them. Just HP, defense, maybe resist. That's kind of meh. Pretty much just HP and defense. That's all he needs. And then he needs 45% accuracy, which shouldn't be hard to get. Oh my god, my team, please don't die. I really want to auto this, but I don't know if this is going to happen. Maybe I need to put Mav in there instead of Arya. Okay, so that was the Mav example. And those were the 3 points. I keep shifting my runes based on what I use. I went over the Shannon example, shifted them to Arya, and that's what I've been doing. I guess I'll just do some runs while I go over the second point, the second overall point, I guess, point B. This is the big point that I talked about, a very important question that a lot of people struggle with, which is when you're farming, how do you decide which runes to keep or sell? I've talked about this a lot. You pretty much have to know what every single monster in the game wants. I always go by the rule, if you're not sure, keep it, because it's better to be safe than sorry. And I've talked about how research is a really big part of Summoner's War. As long as you're kind of doing research along the way, watching my videos, watching other people's videos, other people's Twitch streams, you'll learn this information, and you can even look at other people's islands. There's tons of things you can do to learn about Summoner's War. Every rune I see, I always try to think, can I use this on something? Does it fit in with the current meta? Blah, blah, blah. And I always like to be safe rather than sorry. The main thing that I do is I look at my current monsters and my current runes, and I keep that in mind, and I always keep runes that are on the same level or better. I kind of want to show you guys the quality of rune that I'm keeping, just so people who are at the same level of progression or who are behind me might be able to see the runes I'm keeping, and they might start keeping things similar if they are selling too many, if that's their problem. You'll have to figure out what your problem is. If you're keeping too many, I always keep a lot. Last week my rune storage was full, and it's almost full now, so you'll have to kind of see what your problem is. I don't really think I have any problem. Whenever my rune storage gets full, I go over the runes and I keep in mind my current rune quality and sell anything that won't be good enough. Right now, I'm making my way into mostly needing 6-star runes. Those are the runes that will be my upgrades. I don't have a good, clear, bullet-pointed list of how you should progress through runes. I can try to come up with one on the fly. Pretty much when you start out the game, you'll be keeping any rune. 1-star runes, 2-star runes, 3-star runes will be very good for you. And then eventually you will move into getting rid of all your 3-star runes. That's a pretty big step. When you sell every single 3-star rune and below, and you only keep 4, 5, and 6-star runes, but for the most part you'll just be seeing 4 and 5-star runes. Then eventually, I think for a while I was using 4-star runes pretty much all the way through TOA normal, I think. I had a lot of 4-star runes. Then you're going to start moving into really needing 5 and 6-star runes. The majority of your runes, 5-star runes will be great upgrades for you if you can find those 5-star runes. And then eventually you'll move past that, where you'll get rid of every single 4-star rune and below. Right now, that's what I do. I sell every single 4-star rune. I can't really tell when that was, progression-wise, but you guys will kind of just feel it out. Always keep runes that are the same or better, and always look at your monsters. When you're in the early game, your monster pool will be very small, so you can look at those monsters. This is another kind of bang for your buck thing. I always kept my monster pool very small, and I runed up those monsters that work in many places. There are a lot of monsters like that are like Swiss Army knives. They'll work everywhere, and they'll be very good everywhere. Since my pool was so small, I was able to remember what those monsters' runes were like, and if I saw a rune, I knew if it was an upgrade or if I could sell it. Eventually, like I was saying, you will sell every single 4-star rune and only keep 5-star or better, which is where I am right now. I will still kind of keep some 5-star runes. They have to be really good though. A lot of my monsters still have 5-star runes, even my best monsters, but at this point, my best rune monsters, most of the time, 5-star runes will not be upgrades for them, and they will not be able to have that sort of thing. Let me try to find some good examples. Theomars, I've always runed him extremely well. He is a monster where a 5-star rune will not fit because he has better. So for Theo, the upgrades that I'm looking for will have to be 6-star runes. That doesn't mean they have to be amazing 6-star runes. I'll go over an example with Lagmaron, where I kept blue 6-star runes. At this point for me, blue 6-star runes are upgrades. And then as I keep moving along, blue 6-star runes will no longer be upgrades. And I will need whatever the purple rune is, or whatever the rune that comes with 3 stats on it, those will be upgrades. And then as I keep moving on, the runes will have to be better and better to be upgrades. I may actually be able to get away still with having blue runes that are upgrades as long as my 9 and 12 rolls are very good. Let's go ahead and look over Theo's runes and kind of go over it. 6-star rune. This rune is going to be difficult to replace. We'll look at this one. This one could be easily replaced, or maybe not easily. Let me think. I mean, it could be replaced by another blue rune. Right now, if I saw a blue rune with speed and crit damage, and then on the 9 and 12, if I saw a rune exactly like this, it's blue, it's 6-star, it comes with crit damage and speed, I would keep that no matter what. That's mostly what I work off of, because that rune would be very great for me, and it would work on a lot of monsters. I'd keep that rune, and then if it so happens, because I would be using it regardless, even though it's only blue and it only has speed and crit damage, I'm probably going to use it on something. It'd be a very good rune for something. If it so happens that it has speed and crit damage on it, let's say those both upgrade once, and then on the 9 and 12, it gets 2 really good stats, I get lucky with it, then it could be a replacement for Theomars. I was going to use it anyways, and it would go on something, so that's why I would keep that rune. Let's go over a rune for Lagmaron. My Lagmaron he's been on a really bad rune for a while. Let me see if I can find it here. Was this it? Yeah, this is the rune that he's been on. It's only 5-star. He worked pretty well with it. I did come up with a 6-star blue rune upgrade, and I wanted to show you guys. This was blue, so it only had crit rate and accuracy. The rolls were kind of low, but it worked out okay. Then he got HP, and then on the 12 he got speed. When I got speed, even though it's only +5, I think on 6-star runes, maybe it can only be 4, 5, or 6. I think that's probably where it can be, so 5 is okay. When I saw that speed, it ended up being a lot better. I was going to use it anyways. That's the point that I always want to emphasize. Just with crit rate and accuracy, he doesn't really need 5 speed. 5 speed's not a big deal. Of course it helps. I was going to use it anyways, and then the 5 speed just made it that much better for me. A good example of me powering up runes and that determining if I sell it or keep it is this huge pool of monsters that has pretty much the same runes. Bella, Vero, Chasun, Velajul, that whole list. I will most likely sell a lot of runes that I see. Let's say I get a slot 4 rune that has HP %, and let's say it's blue. Let's say it has, okay, here's a great example. HP slot 4, let's say it has speed and defense. Let's say the speed is only 4, and then that goes all into defense. That rune will not fit on any of my monsters like that, like I said, because they all need to start pushing higher speeds than just 4 speed. 4 speed's not going to cut it on these things. They're going to need more speed for me, just like that one we looked at. It has 11, and Velajul's speed actually got a little bit slower, so I will need something better than that. Chasun, it's going to have to push pretty high. 10 speed. This one has 6 speed. So 4 probably would not work on anything. I might keep it to see if it would work on Mav, because I'm slowly trying to push Mav's speed up a little bit higher. But on these things, that might end up being a sell for me. I'd probably keep it just to be on the safe side, and then whenever I get around to selling all of my runes and clearing them out, I would have to reevaluate if I want to keep that or sell that. Another great example of an upgrade that I had this week was this rune. It was kind of a weird rune to start with. It was a blue rune, slot 4, but I remembered that a lot of my monsters were running something similar to this. A lot of my TOA and TOA hard monsters are on something like speed defense HP or speed HP defense. I saw that rune and I knew it would be really nice and it could possibly be a great upgrade. If it went into crit rate, this was a blue rune. The first 2 power-ups went into speed, and I knew it would be good at that point. The resist and HP were just a cherry and icing on the top, and now this rune is very good compared to what it could have been. It could have gotten 2 flat things, but I was going to use it regardless because Shannon's previous rune was really bad. I think if you want to see what her previous rune was, you can look in the October rune video, but it's kind of a lot of work. I don't blame you if you don't want to do it, because that'd be kind of weird. If everything went into crit rate and the speed stayed whatever it was, I don't remember what it was, this rune may be a sell for me. I probably would have kept it just to be on the safe side, but I cannot think of a monster that would want defense with some crit rate and very low speed. Because after 2 power-ups, that speed's not going anywhere unless I grind it. I don't remember what it started with. It's hard for me to think of a monster that would want something like that. But I would keep it to be on the safe side. And that is where my knowledge kind of falls short. I've told you guys, I said this in this episode, that you have to know to be extremely good at selling and keeping runes. You kind of have to know what every single monster in the game wants, especially the ones that you will most likely be using. You kind of have to keep in mind the whole free-to-play list of monsters. And then after that, it's kind of all just theoretical. Will I pull a Sierra? Will I pull whatever? And then you have to think about that. So I'd keep it just to be on the safe side, but I cannot think of something that would want that. Something could, though. And I think that is the last point. And I probably would have kept Shannon's old rune on if everything went into crit rate, because I probably would have stopped powering up that rune at that point, because it just can't go on any of my monsters right now because nothing really wants that. Maybe like a panda or something like that. The wind panda, I've kind of heard about that. I don't really know, though. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Sorry, I have to turn the page, and that was probably really loud. I did start farming Necro, finally. I have farmed it a little bit in the past, but the last week I actually hardcore refreshed Necro runs. I think I spent maybe about 1,000 crystals or so over the past couple days trying to get rid of them as fast as possible because TOA was resetting. And it's important to be farming because runes will progress you the most, and then eventually when you hit a certain point you will probably need to be pulling some Nat 5s to do well. My thought process behind getting into Necro right now is I started thinking a lot about arena offenses, arena defenses, guild war offenses, guild war defenses, and will runes really started to show up and become prominent, and I started to realize that will runes are actually very good. I think I will need them on my defense and probably on some offensive monsters regardless. That's just a thing that is going to come up in Summoner's War that I will have to do. It's kind of like how you have to take showers and brush your teeth. I think I will need will runes, and it's just going to be one of those things that I need eventually. So that is why I started farming Necro, and I think in the future my arena defense will probably have a lot of will runes. Everything might have will runes on it, so that's why I'm farming Necro. I've always said this, I don't think it's a mistake to farm any dungeon, so as long as you're farming runes, you're making the right decision, but some dungeons are less efficient than others. A big question that I've been asking myself is, should I be going straight for those devolutions or not? Because devolutions, the speed devolutions that I've been talking about, Bernard, Devolution, Megan, or Seek in the last slot. That's an AO that is one of the best AOs in G3, and it works everywhere below that too, as long as you meet the rune requirements and can get those monsters to the proper speeds that they need to be for your level. And I know as long as that stays in meta, that might be the best thing to go for, because I don't want to say that that offense is kind of like a cheat offense, but it kind of is. It's the best thing. It's easy to get because 2 of those monsters are 4 stars. Both Lucians are 4 stars. Then Bernard and Seek or Megan are easily farmable, Seek being easier, but you should be able to get those. And I thought, okay, maybe I should just go straight for that and just only rely on that. But then I worried about my defense. I think my defense is going to have to be okay to hold up. I think that's one of my main problems right now, why I've been struggling so hard to get C2 every week. Most weeks I've gotten C2, but over the past couple weeks I've only been C1, and it's been a real struggle. My defense success rate is 22%. I don't know how that really adds up. I don't know if it's my offense during rush hour or my offenses in general, or if it's a defense problem, why I'm not holding C2. I think it's a defense problem, but regardless of, this little part that I'm at, my defense will have to be very, very good when I push higher up, C3, G1, whatever. And I think the defense will require will runes when I get to that point. Another thing that I was thinking about was the whole will shield strategy. Will shield may be an option for me because I did pull a Julie. Something like Amir Julie, Lucian Julie, Lagmaron Julie. I know that's a strategy that a lot of people like using, the will shield thing. Will runes are in Necro, so once again, I don't think it's a mistake. It might kind of open up some opportunities for me. I'm pretty sure I will be using will runes a lot on a lot of things. A lot of people use will runes, and if a lot of people are using will runes, they're probably kind of good. Especially, you'll start seeing them. I know for a fact that you will start seeing them at C3, even C2 I see a lot, and higher. So I think it's safe to farm Necro, and even G3 players, I see them farming Necro, so I think it's safe. And I don't think they meet any specific circumstances that I don't meet. I don't think that their account, they have this, this, and this, so they're going to farm Necro, but you don't need to. I just thought I would let you guys know what I've been thinking about the whole Devolution thing. I could just live in Giants and farm those runes for the Devolutions, the Megan, and the Bernard, and then I could go ahead and do the Devolution thing, and then I would probably have to get into raids, and I could put all of my eggs in one basket for those Devolutions, but then my defense might be lacking, and it might get attacked a lot unless it looks threatening. I don't really know. I haven't thought about that too much. Even a threatening looking defense might be able to be hit. So that's that. Also, my defense right now, I was thinking about if I had, I actually tried to use this. I don't know if I wrote down what I took a screenshot of what my defense rate was before I switched it over to the Chisoon. I used to use Bernard in there, but maybe Chisoon would be a little bit better. Today is Saturday. It's kind of hard to say if this is paying off or not. I'll have to look back at the screenshot and then look at it. Oh, shoot, we have burning time. Maybe I should be doing that. I think this is probably the best defense I have, or with Bernard in there instead of Chisoon. I don't know. Maybe on paper I don't have a better one, but maybe people will avoid a different one. If I throw Chloe in there, maybe people will start avoiding it because everyone has a phobia of Chloe. I don't really know. I've noticed that Chloe can potentially mess some slow teams up if she uses her Fnatic first turn or second turn. If she uses it second turn, she can mess a lot of teams up. So maybe I should put Chloe in there just to, maybe because people have a phobia of it. I don't know. But I think that defense, or with Bernard in there, is my best defense on paper. I tried seeing if I could fit Tyrant in there in the leader slot, but I don't think it really worked out. I don't think that that's my best defense. So I thought I'd talk about that. So that's the whole Necro farming discussion. Next, Hall of Heroes. I am not farming the Hall of Heroes. It is the Fire Jack-o'-lantern. I already had one, so I didn't need to farm it for one. I've always talked about this. I think you should always farm the Hall of Heroes no matter what it is, because 4 stars can change drastically to be good, depending on buffs and stuff like that. I also have a Chilling. I think if you skill Chilling's second skill up, which it only has 1 point in the second, which is very dangerous, you don't want to risk that. He will use his second more than his first because it'll be off cooldown more. I don't know how the AI prioritizes it, but if you have a Chilling and if you're using him for things, you really want him to be using his first more than his second. I think people use him for Necro and dragons, and you want the first to be used. Skill ups on Chilling, I don't think it would be good. I honestly did not do a lot of research about this Hall of Heroes. I probably should have done a little bit more. I always like to be on the safe side with these. What I did was, when we had the, let me pronounce this correctly, because I learned about this the other week because someone told me about it. How do I pronounce this? Periet? I think I did that right. Periet. I farmed up skill ups. I didn't have a Julie at this point, but I went ahead and farmed these because I had been hearing some things about Julie, that she could be good on a Will Shield team, even though her third skill doesn't work too well with that. If she takes damage, she doesn't throw out as many cards. Or on a fast team, I could possibly use her with Lucian for a fast team to help me kill some fire monsters, and I did so. I did happen to pull a Julie a couple weeks ago. I'm glad that I have these because she might be something in my future. So I didn't do that much research about the Hall of Heroes. Like I said, I should have done a little bit more, but it's probably a little bit late to start farming it. So this thing that I'm about to say right now, I probably wouldn't trust, but this is just something that I think. The majority of the Summoners War community does not like jack-o'-lanterns too much, and they could get changed, and then everyone could be regretting not farming the Hall of Heroes. But even though Smokey, I think Windy is actually really bad, but Smokey and Chilling can be used. Even though they can be used, I think that their base stats and just how, I think their base stats are the thing that really holds them back. They have some cool skills, but I think it's just the base stats that really hold them back. If you build Chilling on damage, he won't do damage. And I think that's the same thing with Smokey. I could be wrong though, but like I said, don't trust what I just said. That's kind of the vibe that I've been getting. But I should have done more research because that might come back to bite me in the ass that I didn't farm skill ups. Last week, PvP-wise, my guild finished G1, which always sucks. We've gotten pretty unlucky, and we've finished G1 for the past 4 or 5 weeks in a row. Rank 102, so close. This week, I think we might finish G2, depending on if we're getting attacked. I don't know if we are. Let's see, so Rex Kwon-Do, hell yeah, Napoleon Dynamite. Okay, let's see. Rex Kwon-Do was the last one that we got hit by, so we're currently getting hit by two. We're getting hit by 2 guilds. Let's see, is this one going well? That one looks like it might be going well. We might defend against Stinky Face, and we are losing against Phoenix BR. So if we defend against Stinky Face, we will win this one, I think. Yeah, we're gonna win this one, I think. I don't know. So we have to win this one and defend against Stinky Face. Wait, but we're still getting hit. So I think the defense against Stinky Face and winning this one. So we're gonna lose ninja moves, I think. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay. We're gonna lose against Phoenix BR, so that's gonna push us back. But with the defense against Stinky Face and this win, I think we should be G2, but we'll just see. For Arena, I finished C1 again. I did a little short stream but I was using my phone data, so I can't exactly do that because it's going to cost too much money. But I decided to do a short stream. I had like a couple people in there, so that was kind of nice. I do want to start streaming more. I have to fix my whole setup thing with my router and my modem. And I did a bunch of refills and I only got C1. It was very close to C2, and I probably talked about this before, but I've never really learned my lesson, so I am going to learn my lesson right now. I'm going to circle this very large so I learn my lesson. What I'm going to do from now on is go back to the old way of doing a refill if I can get C2. So you guys probably know, I've talked about this before. The improvement from C1 to C2 is 50 crystals. One refill costs 30 crystals, so if I do one refill, I'm still gaining a net of 20 crystals. Of course, it would be great if I could do no refills and get C2. That'd be the best thing because then my net is 50 crystals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I have 10 wings when rush hour starts, do those 10, actually 13, and I will make sure that I still have my wish because we get 3 wings from the daily mission. When rush hour starts, I will have 10, almost 10, hopefully 9 or 10. I will have 3 in my challenge thing, and then I will also have my wish to do, so I could possibly get 5 more if I get wings from the wish. I will do rush hour, do those wings, space them out, and then if I know with good confidence that I can get C2 as long as I play correctly, I will go ahead and refill for it and hopefully get C2. I just need to play smarter. I've been playing really dumb and I haven't been learning from my losses. A lot of times I lose something and then I don't learn to back off. I've said this before, Summoner's War is kind of a risk. Every fight you have odds. The odds can be greatly in your favor or not in your favor. So whenever I pick a fight, I feel like I'm picking fights where the odds are either not in my favor and it's too risky, or the odds are even. They're like 50-50, and I shouldn't be fighting those things. I need to fight teams where the odds are greatly in my favor, and I don't feel like I've been learning from that. I've been doing too many refills, fighting too many things, having too many losses, so I just need to get better at that. And that is my whole plan for rush hour in the next coming time. And then as my defense gets better, hopefully it will, if I can get some will runes on it or whatever I need to improve, I think I might need to pull some monsters because I don't know if I really have any other upgrades to make my defense better. Or I don't know if I need will runes. Will runes probably wouldn't hurt. They may make it more successful. I think my defense will be the thing that will allow me to hold higher ranks, because people do hold higher ranks without doing refills. People hold G1 without doing any refills, and my defense is the thing that will get me there, to the point where I'm not doing refills just like everyone else does. It's something that'll happen as long as you have certain things happen to you. You're farming your runes. I probably need some Nat 5s to get to that point. It's probably easier for other people who get really lucky with very meta Nat 5s to get to that point. But yeah, so I think that was all of the discussion for that. 2 small updates. I did skill up my Imesety because I was using it in Guild Wars, and I did lose some fights because I didn't have skill ups. The Marching Shout, the cooltime gets reduced by 2 turns. I did go ahead and skill that up. I was a little bit worried because I do have a Katarina, and I was worried that I might want to use a Water Horus, but I thought it's pretty safe to skill up Imesety. I went ahead and skilled up his Desert Wind too. I wanted to have that up. I could have stopped because I got really, really lucky with skill ups on him, and this got skilled up very quickly, but my Desert Wind didn't. So I could have stopped, but I decided to fully skill him up, and that team has been working pretty well, but I think it's kind of user error whenever I lose. I'm not paying attention to certain things whenever I lose with that team. I also bought the next upgrade of the attack building. It is currently level 7. And then I'm going to keep maxing that out. Let's go ahead and talk about TOA normal and hard. Shoot, my wings are full. That is not good, but we will talk about this. I did just finish TOA normal. I wanted to get as many summons for this video for Lucian. At this point, even if I finish TOA hard, it will not give me another summon for Lucian. If I don't get him in this video, I will do more summons for him on Monday, or I guess Sunday night, whenever I get my stones from Guild Wars. I'll do as many summons as I have. I am going to finish TOA hard tonight. I don't really have that much more to go. The last bit will take a long time because I'm getting higher up, but I will be able to finish it just to get those summons. So the rest of the TOA hard summons will be probably in the next solution summoning video if I don't get him right now, which I don't think I will, but you never know. The things I wanted to talk about with TOA normal and hard are the updates, how they went. For TOA normal, I autoed all of it. Yeah, I autoed all of it, but the 80s started to get a little bit tough for me. So in the 80s, I put in my safer team with Beretta, Vero, like something like that, a safer team, not with Veligil though. Everything up to the 80s though, I used a very YOLO team. I adjusted it along the way. Starting out, I had something like Sig, Theo, Lucian, Lagmaron, Soha, just all attackers. That worked for a while, and then I think maybe like in the 50s or something, I don't remember, I think I put Shasun in there and I put Bernard in there for a little bit more support, and then when I hit the 80s, I went for the safe team just to auto it all out safely, even though it took a while. I think that was kind of the point where I had to go full safe mode. For TOA hard, I was able to use a YOLO team to the 40s. The 40s started to get pretty tough. I think I went through the same series of progression, all attackers up to a certain point. Then when I noticed that some of my attackers were dying, I went ahead and put in a support monster like Bernard or Chasun in there, or Galleon. Oh, maybe not Galleon. I think I was using Chasun. I kind of just did random things. And then when I hit the 40s, they started to get tough, so I had to switch to my safe team, the team that I'm kind of using, something like this. Actually, I'm on 70 right now, so I went ahead and put Veligil in there, but I've been experimenting with a lot of teams. I've been testing things out like this with Vero lead, and also I've put Mav in there sometimes. If I fail, I usually switch the team up, but for the most part, I haven't been failing too much, a couple times, but then so far up to here, I've been able to auto everything except 70. I'm going to try again with Veligil, or with Mav, I think, in Veligil. I did have to manual 50. 50 was really hard. I feel sorry for you guys, you poor souls. I struggled on this. I think I used this team, I think I used Bella maybe, and then this, and where's Mav? This is my go-to TOA hard team. I was able to beat this floor, but it was a struggle. Something killed one of my monsters, and it was pretty close. The boss was also resisting a lot. I don't know if that was just some sort of bias that I had, but I noticed a lot of resists, and usually it's not like that. I did pass it in my first try when I manualed it. I had to manual it, but then everything else besides 50 I've autoed, and we will keep seeing how high I can go. If I have to manual 70, I'll manual 70 and then continue to see if I can auto the rest. I was also thinking about the homunculus. I'm kind of still thinking about that. It might be worth it to get one to speed up my runs and make them safer, and not waste so much energy on failures, because I have failed a couple times. I have to switch my team out and try a different team. I failed 2 or 3 times on 70 so far. That's energy down the drain. Homunculus might be worth it. But if we also think about it, I will be able to finish TOA hard in, I think, so it reset yesterday. Overall, it'll take me 2 days to do it, I think. 2 or 3, which is pretty fast. I might not need the homunculus if you think about it that way. I don't really know. I'm going to keep thinking about that though. And also, I just mentioned this, but I'm going to do a couple more Lucian summons on Sunday, tonight actually. Wait, I get my guild stones tonight. I do. So I will have to add those on if I don't get him right now. But for now, I am going to summon for Lucian. That is the end of the episode. Let's go ahead and get into the summons. First, I'm going to summon everything except the exclusives, because what if I pull a Lucian from something else? I'll probably want to save my stones for Orion. Okay, so we're going to do everything else first. Let's go ahead and do the mysticals. Here we go, guys. Oh, I don't think I have enough spots. So I might have to put some of these in storage. Let's get a lightning. That one looked like it wanted to be lightning. Lightning. I don't have a windy, but I think windy is the worst one because this makes no sense, really. Yeah. Let's see what he upgrades to. Because when you awaken, he might get something useful, but in general, he just does not sound useful at all. Yeah, I don't know about that. I really don't. Okay, we have to move some stuff. Okay, back to summons. Okay, so windy, let's do the Scroll of Light and Darkness, no lightning. I don't think that one's any good. I think Iona is pretty good, the light Pikion Priest, but not that one. Okay, Legendary Scroll, let's go. My heart. Shit. I don't think that one's any good. I think I already have that one too. Okay, I don't know if I have enough spots, but we will go ahead and do 12 of these exclusive summons. Let's go. I'm waiting for a lightning. A lot of Taoists. Come on, lightning. Okay, 2 more, and then I'll get some more tonight, though. Okay, here we go, 2 more. Nope. Okay, no lightning, 12 summons. I'll have 3 more tonight, maybe 4. So look forward to that. Maybe I can add it onto this video. We'll have to see. So that's it for Path of Decency. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you guys later. Hey boys, that's what's up. I just pulled another Lucian.